Tech promised to make our lives easier, keep us connected, and free us from mundane tasks, but somewhere along the way, we became the revenue stream. Today, we're diving into the explosion of subscription services where companies have transformed one-time purchases into endless monthly payments. Let's look at how convenience and access became code words for we own nothing but pay forever.
My last straw. This is it. This is my final straw. My final straw in capitalism. So the printer that I bought with money and the paper that I supply with it that costs money, the ink that I supply it with costs money, and the house that I have to plug it into, the Wi-Fi that I use to connect it to, the phone that I use to print said things to, that all cost money. I can't use the printer unless I have a subscription to it. You have to have a subscription to said printer to use the printer that I already bought with money. $5 a month. $5 a month to print things.
She says this is her final straw with capitalism, but I would argue that this is capitalism's final straw. Capitalism is currently in its late stage, and so we see companies like this doing whatever they can to squeeze more profits out of users and consumers. I mean, imagine you have a village of 100 people, right? And every person has a printer. HP can try to make more printers, but people don't need a new printer. They just bought a printer last year and it does what it needs to do, right? They're not going to keep upgrading their printers. So HP then has to come up with a new strategy. And so they look at, we can lower the quantity, the amount of ink that's in a cartridge and up our prices. And so they do that. But then again, that is not increasing their profits enough. They do strategies like this, where they make you download an app, connect it to your printer, and as part of that, you have to pay a subscription to use a printer. It's crazy, but this is what's happening with a lot of companies under late stage capitalism, because under capitalism, companies have to keep increasing their profits under every circumstance. They have to become creative, and subscription is the new model to increase your profits. I will say though, you should definitely utilize your library. I go to my library for printing on the occasional chance that I need to actually print something. I go to the library. You can also get ebooks, audiobooks. They often have a lot of events for both children and adults at the library, and it's all already paid for with your tax money. So please go utilize your library. There's so many free resources there.
Subscription service model is actually the bane of my existence, and if you have not taken the time this year to physically write out or type out all the subscription services that you're subscribed to, you really should, because it makes you realize how crazy all of this has gone. Let's start with things that I canceled a while back. Disney Plus, Peacock, Paramount Plus. Any platform where I need to subscribe to you just to watch a single show, what the f do you mean if I want to watch Love Island, I need Paramount Plus? Next up, ESPN Plus, $11 a month. What the do you mean blackouts? I can't watch the games of the teams in the city I'm in? Hulu, $8. Hulu genuinely has one of the worst UX UIs I have ever used. Okay, you're telling me you have a whole team of designers and engineers and that's the best you could come up with? Really? No, canceled. Oh, this is where it gets even worse. Okay, if you start consuming other countries' media, they have their own subscription services that you have to subscribe to. So I love a good K-drama, C-drama, J-drama. I got Viki, I got iQIYI, I got Tencent. Yeah, those are all like $10 each a month. I canceled. The issue with these apps and how they get you is there's always popular shows on those apps that are free to watch. So you start watching the show, and then once you're done with the show, you're like, okay, what's next on my list? But then of course those shows are for subscribers only, so then it convinces you to subscribe into the app, and then before you know it, you have $10 here, you got $5 here. Next big thing, I'm canceling Prime. My boyfriend has Prime. We don't both need Prime. First of all, Prime doesn't even ship things to me in 2 days anymore. There's no point in me paying for that still. Next thing, I am a workout girl. ClassPass canceled. I can't even get into a class. Okay, any of the times I want, the classes I want, can't even get in. And then finally, I have a bunch of subscriptions for products that if I don't have the subscription, you can't use the product. So like my Ring camera, it's $3 a month, but if I don't have the subscription, I can't use the camera. I have my Aura Ring, which is $6 a month. I honestly might cancel that soon. That's up in the air. The Peloton subscription is like $45 a month, but if I don't have that, can't use the Peloton, so have to have that apparently. When you add all of this up, it's like hundreds of dollars a month.
Shots fired at the devs and graphic designers. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, I see her point. Like, you have this whole team of people. Why does the UI look this bad? But I wouldn't say that this is on the devs specifically. I would say this is more on the graphic designers. Devs are really just implementing what the graphic designer's vision is. Sometimes you have a say in that, but a lot of times I would say you don't, because also, the graphic designer is getting their vision from input from upper management and executives, so they're only implementing kind of what they've been told to in a way. So I wouldn't say it's so much on the devs. I keep seeing people talk about this Aura Ring, but my impression was that Aura Ring was like really for athletes. Like, I know in the beginning they were marketing towards like professional golfers and professional tennis players. So I'm kind of confused why everybody has an Aura Ring now. Like, is it that good? I thought Whoop was better. So I'm kind of confused why everybody has picked the Aura Ring. I think it's crazy that Peloton is getting away with selling a super expensive bike and then putting it behind a $45 subscription. That's crazy. People are paying that just to cycle on a bike. Get a gym membership. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Peloton is great. I've not personally used one and I would never use one. This is a bit random, but I see she has a Pentel Energel pen. These are the best pens. I promise you, the ink flows out so smoothly and you can rub your hand across it and it doesn't smear. Love these pens. Random, but I love them. This next one says, when you tell the developer to make it harder for people to cancel their subscription. Again, it's not really, okay, it is on the devs because they are implementing whatever the graphic designer kind of tells them to implement. Although not every like small companies obviously don't have a graphic designer, so it is the devs then coming up with the design themselves and implementing it. But I wouldn't say it's on the devs. And obviously it's not so obvious like this, but yes, there are persuasive design tactics that graphic designers are implementing in their designs, and then developers are taking that design and implementing it in code. It's called dark patterns. It's a subset of persuasive design, and they are doing this, unfortunately. I just recently tried to cancel my Claude subscription, and it took me quite a while to find the cancel button because they essentially all of a sudden make the design different. A lot of the design, the button is filled, so it's like the whole button is filled with a color. But for the cancel button, it was outlined, so it was much harder for me visually to notice like, oh, this is the button I need to be pressing to cancel my subscription. And so they do these little persuasive design, dark patterns, tactics to make it very hard for you to cancel a subscription. And where they put it in the settings, it's not intuitive, right? Like you would think it would be under account and under payment, but they don't put it there. They put it somewhere completely different in the settings where it's not intuitive. It's hard to find, it's hard to cancel, and then they suck you into another monthly payment because you don't have a lot of time to spend just going through your settings trying to figure out how do you cancel something. And they know this.
Just an observation, but do y'all ever realize that when you sign up for something that's a reoccurring subscription, they make it absolutely impossible for you to find how to cancel the subscription? So I had to download Truebill just to this is not sponsored by the way, just to figure out all the subscriptions and how to cancel them, because by myself I just can't do it. And I feel like how many other people are getting scammed in America because of these subscriptions that are impossible to cancel.
Yeah, this is just another way for companies to try to keep you paying for your subscription. So she apparently downloaded a subscription that helps you manage and track your subscription. I mean, it sounds so dystopian to say that you need a subscription to manage a subscription. But also, I always find it funny when Americans are like, oh, this is happening in the US. No, this is happening everywhere. Partly because every company is adopting this subscription model, but also because the US is a big exporter of technologies. I live in Sweden in Europe. I'm American, but I have an Apple account. That's from the US. I have Claude. That's from I had Claude. That's from the US. All of these things are not specific to just Americans, right? Like this is happening on a global scale. But I mean, I get it. It's Americanism, but it's still, every time I hear it, I'm like, no, it happens all around the world. The dark patterns that I previously mentioned, there's a term in the industry and it's called rote motel, where essentially you want to make it very easy for the user to sign up. A lot of times it will just be one click. Now you're in, you're subscribed for a monthly payment, but then to cancel it, they make it impossible almost. And that's the whole plan, is like get you into the motel and you never leave. It's like Hotel California.
Y'all, the best purchase and subscription that I've made in the past year, hands down, is my AMC membership. Basically, for $20 a month, you can see 3 movies for free per week. That's like roughly 12 movies for $20. Tickets already like $13. So if I go twice, I get my money back.
So how have you been? We only need you back.
Where do I even begin with this one? I guess I've been outside of the US for too long. I didn't even realize that AMC had a subscription to their movie theaters. She says for $20 a month, you can see 3 movies per week for free. No, they're not free. They're not free, right? You just said it's $20 a month. It's not 3 free movies per week. Is this the girl math I keep hearing about that drives me crazy? This is not logical. She says the ticket prices are $13, so if she goes 3 times, she gets her money back. You're saving money, but you're definitely not getting your money back. And we have to remember that the whole business model for movie theaters is they make all of their money on the food and the drinks that they sell, not the actual ticket prices. A lot of times, movie theaters lose money when they purchase the rights to show the movie in the movie theater. So ticket prices may be negative or very low. They make all their money on the popcorn and Coke that you buy that's like $8 and $12. Super overpriced. And she bought the popcorn, so she's doing exactly what the movie theater is hoping that she will do. But also, I thought AMC was for the stock bros to short squeeze. I didn't know they were even still a thing. Okay, so it says, you bold cutting Amazon Prime. I tried, had to get it back. Canceling subscriptions, Amazon Prime.
Okay, I get it, but here's the thing. Amazon made $37 billion just last year from Prime memberships alone. That's a lot of money. And yet, most of us aren't even getting the 2-day delivery promise that we signed up for. That's why I signed up for Amazon Prime. Guarantee my 2-day delivery. And at this point, it feels like less of a convenience and more of a habit. And I want to shop with intention. I would rather use Amazon as a product catalog, look up what I need, then go directly to a local store, support them directly, or an independent online retailer and support them directly. Because every time we hit that buy now Amazon button, we're undercutting those small local businesses.
She said that Amazon Prime made $37 billion off of the Amazon Prime subscription. And I wasn't sure if that was accurate. So when I searched it, I saw that they made $44 billion. So we can assume that somewhere in between 37 and 44 billion is what the company made on Prime. And I have to say, when I moved to Sweden, I was actually upset that I wouldn't have Amazon, because at the time Amazon was not in Sweden. But I realized, as she said, it's just a habit. Like, you get into the habit of having 2-day delivery and almost feeling like you have access to all these products and they will get there quickly and it's at a cheaper price, but I really didn't need them. When you have 1-click purchase and 2-day delivery, you don't have time to really think about your purchase. Like, do you really need that? So I completely agree with her that Amazon Prime is just a habit.
Australians are wasting $8 billion on forgotten and unused subscriptions. Research from ING Australia found Australians waste $1,261 a year on subscriptions they have yet to cancel. A new survey also revealed that Aussies are losing $1.9 billion a year to unused gym memberships. Because as well, if I can't tell you all my subscriptions, that's a problem. And I can't. Like, I want to kind of make my money work a little bit harder for me this year rather than being like, oh, it's fine.
I personally don't understand this whole forgotten subscription thing. I like to know where my money is going each month. I guess I can see you signing up for a free trial and forgetting that you have it and it turns into a subscription. But $1,200 a year, that's $100 per month in subscriptions that you don't know you have. That's a lot of money to me. I mean, I know it's not a ton of money now because of inflation. And then she says that it's bad that you don't know all of the subscriptions you have, but that she's that person. She doesn't know. She doesn't keep up with all of her subscriptions. Wow. Okay. What I will say is look into open source projects. There are so many open source projects where basically developers, they have an idea, they go home after their day job and they code up a project, they open source it, it's some type of software, and you can go and use it. And a lot lot of times it's a really good project. DaVinci Resolve is one of these. I use DaVinci Resolve for editing videos. You can use GIMP. It's also open source. It's kind of like Photoshop. You can edit photos. There's just so many open source, so try to find an option for open source before signing up for a subscription. And then there's always Yo Ho Ho, the pirate's life. I'm just saying. They also mentioned gym membership. I don't know if I agree that this is a subscription. I guess I don't know the difference between membership and subscription, but in my mind, subscription, you're subscribing to something you can't tangibly touch, whereas a membership you can tangibly touch. Like, I don't want gym equipment in my apartment. My apartment is like a shoebox already. Where would I put gym equipment, right? It's like I would rather the gym pay for the gym equipment and I go and borrow said gym equipment with a membership. I don't know that I would lump those two together.
So not to brag or toot my own horn, but I've been paying for 2 Disney Plus accounts for probably over a year. And you know what I just did? I just figured out how to cancel one of the Disney Plus charges that I've been paying for. It only took me a year to do it. I've been paying for 2 of them for a year, and I've known that I need to cancel one of them and figure out how or why I'm being charged. And I did that. You know what else I did? I figured out the $1.99 Apple charge that I was getting charged for. I've probably been paying that for 10 years. So if you're wondering how productive I am today, I'm elite.
They want to make it hard for you to cancel your subscription, so you do exactly what she's claiming, where she knew she was double paying for over a year, and she just kept paying because life, right? You go to work, come home from work, you don't have a lot of time after work. If you have children, I'm assuming she does. If she's watching Disney, maybe she's just a Disney adult, I don't know. They want you to forget about your subscriptions, and then you keep paying. And then on top of hoping you forget about it, they make it incredibly hard for you to cancel it. Pictures and videos take up so much storage on your phone, and that's why they have, when you go to buy a new iPhone, they have these different models with different levels of memory. One, they want you to run out of memory. Again, allegedly, it's in their best interest if you continue to run out of memory and you keep upgrading your iPhone for more memory, and they charge so much money for that memory. And this is what I mean by, if you bought the lowest level memory of an iPhone, like say you bought 256 gigabytes, the money that you would pay to upgrade to say 1 terabyte is like something like $300, $400. You could buy like 10 HDDs, this portable memory, for that price, right? And then back up your phone to this. You don't need to back it up to iCloud. You can back it up to a physical memory that you own, and you wouldn't have to pay $1.99, which actually it's $2.99. Now they keep increasing the price, and they plan to do that because it's another way for them, allegedly, to make more money.
I just crashed out and canceled every single non-essential subscription to everything. Nothing was spared. Oura Ring, $7. Don't wear it. Wanted to be that girl. I just can't. Descript. I'm never going to take my YouTube channel seriously. Needed to go. Canva, same reason. That was $35 and $15 right there. Target Circle, all of that saved me $120 a month. I bought back almost 2 hours of my life at work.
Again with the Oura Rings, I don't get it. I mean, and she admits, like, yeah, she got it. She wanted to be that girl. To me, that makes it sound like it must be a social media trend. She must see a lot of other women on social media wearing this ring, and so she thought, oh, I also need this ring. But good for her for realizing that she doesn't need it, because I also don't understand why so many people have it, right? Because the data that it collects, most people don't need. Do you need to know your resting heart rate? Do you need that data point? I don't think so. Not unless you're like an athlete or training for something. I just don't see the selling point for regular people to own a device that tracks these certain data points, because I just don't see people using that data. Maybe I'm just thinking about this in too logical of a way. Also, she said she's paying $15 for Canva. I remember in like 2018 when Canva was like $7.99. So it's crazy that they've almost doubled in price since then.
The cost of streaming services is insane these days, so I have canceled quite a few of them, and I've also gone through a lot of my subscriptions and canceled a lot of them. So let's see how much money I'm going to be actually saving by canceling all the subscriptions I've canceled. So if we take a look here in my subscription section, I have Audible, Spotify, streaming, which I lumped together all of my different streaming services in there, Amazon Prime, Canva, and Kindle. Out of these, I have canceled Audible, I have canceled Canva, And then I also have a random Nintendo charge that I have every single month. I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to cancel that too. So out of the subscriptions that I've already canceled, I am saving $77 a month. And that is a little over $900 a year.
It's definitely a good amount to be saving each year. I find it interesting though, when we look at her subscriptions, she says Canva, but then I see that she has Adobe Illustrator opened and it's not in her list of subscriptions. And then she also mentioned that she has a Nintendo subscription, is not in the subscription list. So then I start wondering, how many subscriptions do you actually have that you don't know you have? Lastly, maybe this is just me being the J and INTJ, but why touch the screen? Is it really necessary? I hate when screens are dirty.
I don't know why Disney Plus putting their prices up yet again has annoyed me as much as it has. Obviously, as of late,
So they increased it to $20.99.
they're not making a lot of money from their movies and they're flopping. And they're trying to recoup those losses through the subscription services, and they did it the year before and they had a 30% increase in profit, which is why they're doing it again. But at this point, like I quite literally have Disney tattooed on me, and at this point I'm like, just stop being greedy. And I'm completely aware that what I'm about to say is a me issue, but when I get these emails that are like, hey, we're increasing the price, there's no reason for why they're doing it outside of, we're excited to continue doing the exact same thing that we've done since you first started paying. We're just going to do it for much more money now.
$20.99 per month is a lot of money. And again, this is what I mean when I said earlier, like maybe that woman had children, maybe she didn't. Disney adults, there's a lot of Disney adults. It's kind of wild to me. But what's wilder is these companies charging so much money for, like he said, the exact same thing. And again, my argument being that they literally have to increase their profits. Companies try to say sometimes like, oh, inflation, everything is more expensive now. I mean, they use all of these excuses and a lot of times they're not really that affected by what's going on, but they claim that they're affected enough that they need to increase their prices. It doesn't make sense. It's all just to increase their profits.
I was going through my budget yesterday, and you know what's getting out of control is subscriptions.
Aura Ring. Again, what is with these Aura Rings? For it to be this mainstream, they must be doing some type of like YouTube promotions and stuff like that. Because why is this magically like every person has an Aura Ring?
Everything has a subscription now, and it's getting out of control. So, what I did yesterday was go through, look at all of my subscriptions, and I actually went through and canceled some. I canceled my Hatch alarm subscription because I don't even know. I thought you needed that to use the alarm clock, but apparently you don't. So I canceled that. That's $4.99 a month. Then I also canceled my Kindle Unlimited subscription because that is $11.99 a month. The next one I canceled was Canva Pro. That's $14.99 a month. I canceled that $2.99 Apple subscription fee that comes out of my account every single month. I think it's for cloud storage. I canceled that, finally. Anyway, long story short, when you add that all up, that is $34.96 a month, which I know you're thinking, like $35 a month really isn't that bad, but it is. It really is, especially when you're trying to save and pay off debt. And then when you do the math and times that by 12, that is $420 a year that I'm saving for just canceling like 4 subscriptions.
Yeah, I mean, when she says it's only this amount, that is the way that these tech companies are being predatory and saying like, it's only $2.99, it's only $4.99. In some case, yeah, it would only be, it's only this. If only one company were doing it. Every company is adopting this subscription tactic, the subscription model, to claim that they're providing you something innovative when it's really predatory. It's taking your money, it's looping you into this ecosystem that makes it really hard to get out of, like the iCloud. I would say majority of people don't even understand what iCloud actually is, but they're paying monthly for it. It's just a way for these companies to increase their profits.
You know, with Netflix raising their prices again, I'm just gonna pick up where I left off years ago and add more to my physical media. I'm done with subscriptions.
Yeah, I mentioned in a previous video, I also have started collecting Blu-ray because again, every show you want to watch is on a different streaming service. I used to only subscribe to HBO or Max, whatever you want to call it, just to see Game of Thrones. But then I realized, why am I doing this? This is so stupid. I just bought the Blu-ray set of Game of Thrones, excluding season 8 because it's trash. I only want to watch to season 7. I refuse to watch to season 8, but that's besides the point. Unfortunately, when I go thrift shopping now, I see a lot of people just buying up Blu-ray because they're going to sell it online. And recently when I was in the US, I went to Goodwill to see like, do they have Blu-ray? And they did, but they were charging $7.99 for a Blu-ray. I'm not paying $7.99 for a Blu-ray. Here in Sweden, they only cost around like $2. So everybody is out to make a quick buck on the Blu-rays. In recent months, I've really been seeing the effect that tech has on not only its users, but society as a whole. And as someone who works in tech, I feel a bit of responsibility for these things because I am contributing to their creation. So I want to explore these different ways that tech has an effect on not only users, but us as a whole in our societies. This is all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.